Hey, I'm going to cover a lot in this video, so if you want a specific part of it, I've left the time codes down below and you can just skip ahead to the chapter that you want. If you really can't be bothered with anything that I have to say other than getting the free course, I won't hold that against you. Time is very precious. If you go down to the description below and you pick up the course, it's already got the coupon applied to it. All that I ask is if you do pick it up for free and you use it and it's genuinely helpful to you, please leave me a review and that will help me out so much. Now, I'm going to give just a brief update of why I haven't been posting on this channel. It was a bit of a rough start to the year. Unfortunately, I lost my job. We had a death in the family, and unfortunately, one of my kittens got FIP and passed away quite suddenly. And yeah, it took its toll. We spent all of our savings trying to save our kitten, and unfortunately, it just didn't work. So I was, well, more than gutted, distraught over it, because she was a big part of our family, and it was tough to see my other half go through, well, having to deal with that too. So it's a bit sad. We tried our best, but there's nothing we could do. But it derailed us, and because I'd lost my job and we spent most of our savings trying to do what we could, I decided that I needed to refocus on getting freelance work in and trying to upskill myself as well. So unfortunately, that meant YouTube fell on the wayside a little bit. So instead of making the YouTube content, I put my time back into sorting out my freelance career so I could start building up a bit of a rainy day fund again and get into a financially secure situation where I could have a proper look at YouTube again and maybe start running this as I wanted to run it originally. So it was a very depressing start of the year, unfortunately, and I just couldn't bring myself to make videos with a decent amount of energy. Unfortunately, you do need to put out a lot of energy into videos for people to actually care a lot of the time. I've worked with a bunch of influencers, and the ones who are the most successful are always the ones who are just putting across good vibes all the time. And I just didn't feel like I could do that. And at the same time, I'm really trying to be positive and happy now in how I'm presenting myself. But it's still not easy revisiting these subjects from earlier in the year and trying to be positive and enthusiastic as I talk to you on camera, because it's still this whole thing, me talking to nobody or speaking to a little black square, is still massively unnatural to me. And I know for my own personal development that I need to get comfortable talking without a script and just riffing. Otherwise, I'm not going to have the time to continue making videos. And moving past all the negativity and the doom and gloom, there were actually some positives throughout the year. So in my spare time, I started learning Unity. I wanted to figure out a bit of game dev, and I wanted my first project to be something that wasn't just a platformer that you see or any of these tutorial-y type games that you get. I wanted to make something that might have a bit of value for people who would be on my YouTube channel. And essentially, I made a little quiz app. It's free. Now, I'm not amazing with code, but I knew enough to have conversations with ChatGPT. And together with ChatGPT, we made an app called the Creative Archetypes. It takes most of the inspiration from the Myers-Briggs, which is the 16 personalities test, if you've ever done that online. It measures across 4 dichotomies: imagination versus literalism, chaos versus order, spirit versus validity, reflection versus expression. You answer over 80 questions, and at the end of it, it gives you a 4-letter code that gives you a profile. And then within that profile, it'll tell you your creative strengths and weaknesses, as well as some additional creative pursuits that you might be good at. It was very rewarding to make, and I'm just surprised that I could leverage ChatGPT to help build an app with a very basic understanding of code. I still kind of can't believe that I was able to brute force an app. It's so cool to see that the people who have taken a look at it seem to have got something out of it. So if you want to have a bit of a play around with that, it's completely free. Maybe it'll lead you to your next creative project. Who knows? I also ended up self-publishing a book on Amazon, which is currently free on Amazon Unlimited if you want to check it out. And it would be amazing if you did, because I haven't got any reviews and I put a bunch of time into it and nobody seems to care, which is a bit sad. But, you know, when you're a creative person doing anything, I must have made over 300 things in my lifetime, and there's probably like 2% of that people have actually paid attention to. So it isn't uncommon for people not to care about the stuff that you do. But if you did pick it up and you read it, not only would you see where I'm coming from on my opinions with AI, which, why should you care about that? You shouldn't. It's probably not going to be valuable to you. But what would likely be valuable is the list and descriptions of all the AI tools that I'm actually using to allow myself to have more opportunities in the creative space with freelance work, with my own personal projects. I use so many of the tools that I list in the book, and they improve my workflow and just make my life a lot easier and vastly improve the quality of my work. So if you did have the patience to read, which I'm aware many people don't have anymore, and you got through my book, I can guarantee that you would learn about software that you've probably not come across before, and you could apply it almost immediately and make your life easier. I'm not going to say you're going to make a bunch of money from it, because that's not the point. But if you wanted to create things and you wanted to create more things and you wanted to do it to a better standard, higher quality, then that's what you'd get out of the book. And then you'd also get me having a moan as well about my time working in the video game industry and how I think social media is vastly corrupt as well. I think there's a bit of that in there. But if anything, I just wanted to prove to myself that I had the capacity to put out a book, because again, I don't have a very high opinion of myself. So I surprise myself when I put out a video like this, where I'm speaking without a script, where I get an app done, where I get a book done. And as you'll find out in the next bit of the update, when I get a course done, it's proving that I am not a worthless piece of shit stain on the earth that I'm so used to believing that I am. So there's that, which is exciting. Which brings us onto the course, which is very exciting actually, why I'm making this video. So if you've seen any of my tutorials on this channel, or if you watch any of the animated content that I've done on here, there's a high chance I've actually covered it in the course on Udemy that I'm now promoting to you. Now, I'm making it free for 5 days. Why am I doing that? Because I have no credibility on Udemy. I have no reviews. I've got 0 stars. And to be fair, I would never buy something off someone with 0 stars because it seems sketchy. So because I have no credibility, I'm giving it away for free. Doesn't mean that no time was put into it. I actually spent the last 3 months painstakingly putting all my time into it. And you know what? I'm just going to play you a video from the course to let you know what it's actually about, because that will be better than me trying to waffle on now without a script. Hi, and welcome to the course. First and foremost, thank you for taking a risk on me as a new educator on this platform. I've tripled the amount of time I originally planned to put into the production of this course, and I hope that additional value shines through and gives you the best advantage possible. I want to give you an initial overview of what you can expect to learn from this course. We'll be gaining mastery over Photoshop's pen, lasso, and generative fill tools to seamlessly extract characters from their backgrounds. We'll also delve into the paintbrush and smudge tool to rebuild some of the elements too. You'll learn how to speed up your workflow with the use of hotkeys and how to import your Photoshop files into After Effects so you can begin the rigging process. I'll also show you how we can create depth maps and use those to animate background and foreground assets. When it comes to character animations, you'll learn how to bring them to life with code and keyframes, as well as taking advantage of shape path animations, masks, and a variety of effects. We'll make them blink, swing their sword, and I'll show you how to troubleshoot any errors along the way. You'll also get a look at how I grade and light my scenes, as well as how to use stock effects to bolster your compositions. I'll show you the best export settings as well as showing you where you can pick up those additional 50 characters so you can start creating your own animation showreel. There's a lot more than that, but those are the basics. I'm very excited to share this journey with you, and with all of that, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, and that brings us finally to plans for the channel. So, my plan is to try and get better at this style of video where I don't have the script, I just ramble at the camera, and I'm hoping that over time, I'll become more coherent with what I'm saying. I'll still be able to deliver value to you, the audience, so you're not just hearing me waffle and you're actually getting something out of the video. And if I can finally get over how uncomfortable this all makes me, I'll probably do some videos on game dev. I'm looking at Godot engine at the moment because, well, Unity just had this big scandal and everyone hates it. And I just feel like I don't want to give my time to a company that is evil. And it seems that Unity might be. So I'm looking at Godot. I've picked up AE Sprite. I'm messing around with pixel art. I'm doing a lot of things. I'll probably even delve back into music at some point if anyone knows me from my music. But I am going to attempt to do videos again. And hopefully you will see me get better at this over time. Because at the moment, I feel like they are going to be a little bit raw. But the truth is, when I was making videos previously, it was taking me 3 to 4 days to get them done. That's just not feasible for me to do if I want to have a nice balanced life where I'm doing freelance work and bringing money in, getting to spend time with my family and friends, and getting to do all the creative projects that I want to do as well. I've realized speaking on camera is going to be a very important skill in the not so distant future, because when AI does everything else, literally everything else, all we're going to have left is this. So I need to figure out how to make this work with everything else that I've got going on. And that is going to be a challenge, but hopefully you'll stick around. And if I do remain consistent with this, hopefully I'll be putting out better videos. Again, hopefully all of this has made some degree of sense and isn't a terrible waste of time for you. But if you want any of the things I've talked about in this video, head down to the description below, click the links. If you do pick up my course for free and you go through it and you found value in it, please do leave me some reviews because I've got none. This is a very low benchmark for a refresh on my YouTube page. So hopefully the next video will be better. I don't think it can be any worse. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.